How much of it is left now? What percent number comes to your mind?
2.
2%. What would it take to make it 1%?
I guess just, yeah, I'd probably like to meditate on this. I mean, I'm sort of breathing in and it's feeling better now, but I could probably do that on my own time.
Okay. And the message I got was drink some water. So.
I actually was thinking that too, but
You were?
I meant to though.
Well, I'll pause the recording. You can go fill up.
All right, great to do that.
So I'm glad you got some water. It's funny how we both had that thought at the same time. I'm sure it was a little intuitive nudge. And whenever you're clearing energy, it's good to have plenty of water. It's amazing how much water our bodies can go through when we're doing this kind of work. And it doesn't seem to, I don't know where it goes, you know?
Yeah.
I can drink pints of water and it doesn't seem to come out the other end. So,
yeah.
The other thing that's interesting for me is that if I may have had normal colored pee or light colored pee, and then I do energy work and all this dark stuff comes out of my pee. And it's like,
interesting.
I guess I had stuff physically in my body that my body's now able to release. And that happens after massage. If you've ever had a deep tissue massage, it's often the case that stuff comes out in the pee.
I never knew that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, check it out. Anyway, so you're going to work later on clearing the final 1 or 2%. And you can just ask yourself how much percent is left of any pattern. That can help you see your progress and see and you can ask if, like we did, what would it take to get from 2% to 1% or whatever percentages you're at? Because you may get other inspired ideas on what to do to clear it. And it may be just wait. It might be just, I need to wait 24 hours and sleep on it and it'll go away.
Right.
So tell me about this expense spreadsheet. You're going to have it by when?
I think I'm going to get this done by the end of the day tomorrow. So I think if I really were to look at what I need to get to where I want to be, that's going to probably change the hard objective need for a certain income level. It's probably it's probably going to move it up quite a few notches. But I guess I just was always afraid to look at it.
Yeah. So now you don't have that fear. It's easy to look at it. And you may decide you want to pay yourself more. You may decide you want a retirement fund. You may want a vacation fund. You may want a emergency repair fund built up,
Yeah.
So, when you start looking at this, you may realize that your minimum needs is nowhere near $5,000 a month. You may want to be able to hire better, staff to work on your stuff. You may be able to want to afford better tools to make the business run more smoothly. Right. Maybe you want to hire someone who does some of the tasks that you've been doing. All these things usually take money.
Yeah.
So the more conscious you get about what really your needs are, and this also ties into self-worth. How much do you love yourself to have the business run smoothly and not run out of gas halfway through the year?
Yeah, well, that's a really good point too, because it's like I feel like I've kind of been on a negative trajectory with self-worth. Like when I started, it was in the story. When I was closing that deal in the Taipei airport. I was like, yeah, this is totally what I deserve. Like, I've worked really hard to build this business, and I can afford to take this vacation. But as the month ended up turning into more months, I started feeling like a little bit guilty. It was just like, well, I don't know if I really deserve to be location independent and go on these fun trips and do all this fun stuff. And I guess, that might have just led to it having been taken away from me or through my own creation.
That would be a great thing to clear. So if you're, where is your self-worth on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is you're total shit and have no self-worth, and 10 is you're the Buddha and are totally happy with yourself?
I'd say it's like a 7 or an 8. I'm pretty happy with myself. At the moment,
So let's say it's a 7. What would it take to get it to an 8?
Well, a lot of the stuff that I've been doing, I feel like I was on a downward trajectory basically from, the time when I started traveling to about, well, it's right when I dipped below the thermostat. And right now I'm feeling pretty good about myself, but it's really related to the work that I've been putting in. So I guess it would be, I mean, the success is definitely, it definitely helps, but I'm a little reluctant to have that external metric, I guess. So I do feel better about myself when I'm working hard, which flies totally in the face of a lot of stuff that I intellectually believe, like, a lot of 80/20 stuff, the first thought, all that kind of thing. So I feel like I don't really accept myself as an 80/20 guy. I feel better when I'm working a lot.
So that would mean if the business was running smoothly and making more money than you think you deserve, you'd figure out some way to do extra work.
Yeah.
Either have a crisis or figure out an extra project to create or.
No, I totally agree with that.
So let's just come back to this. What would it take to get your self-worth to an 8?
I hate to say it. It's probably it's the external success, but also I guess working on more scaled up stuff, which does take money. I like to be doing marketing activities as opposed to sales activities, and if I was doing that, I think I'd be at an 8.
Okay. What would it take to get it to a 9?
I would like, well, this is something that I've always had. It's, if I had automation to the point where I could invest in other businesses, that's something that I would feel really good about.
Mm-hmm. And what would it take for you? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all.
And what would it take for your self-worth to be a 10 out of 10?
So just trying to think. In addition to that, I can't even imagine what 10 out of 10 would look like, to be honest. I guess if that was because it has been sort of business. Sorry?
Who is a role model either personally or from books or imaginary characters who had a 10 out of 10 self-worth? They just feel good about themselves and they deserve to have what they have.
It's kind of tough because I know like there's a lot of different archetypes for this. I mean, when you said like who's somebody that I think is a 10 out of 10, it's like I would probably say Elon Musk, but I don't really know how he feels about himself. I'm trying to think about people from books. I don't know. That would be like kind of more of like a Zorba the Greek character, but I don't think I would appreciate myself to be in that position. So it's kind of a tough thing to answer.
Well, that might be something to ponder, to figure out who a role model or role models could be, who you admire for having high self-worth and feeling good about themselves and that they deserve the good stuff that happens to them.
Because there's kind of two parts, yeah. The good stuff and also the appreciating that. Because I feel like a lot of the people who have a lot of good stuff happen to them have to go through a lot to get to it, like Elon. And then the other people, and there's kind of the self-satisfied, but kind of, I guess, not like, well, it's like, yeah, having somebody who's a high achiever that also has that level of self-satisfaction is very rare. Or, not any that come to mind at least.
Well, I didn't mention high achiever. I just said high self-worth.
That's a good point. I guess I sort of equate the two, though.
Well, they often are connected, but self-worth means they value themselves. They feel good about themselves. They deserve to have the good things that happen in their life. They may not be a multimillionaire, right?
Right.
Well, put that on the back burner. I think, you probably know that many people are the average of the 5 people they hang around with the most. And one of the ways you can bump things up in your life, if your friends are not high self-worth, right, you can still have role models you put on your spiritual advisory board or you interact with them other ways, right? And then they become your virtual friends. and role
Right.
models.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's why a lot of people get value from reading biographies or seeing movies about people they admire and emulating their behavior.
Right.
But it sounds to me like you don't have good role models in your life for 10 out of 10 self-worth.
Yeah. I've thought of a couple since you were saying. I mean, I think, I guess two people that kind of fit the bill on those. One would be Richard Koch and 80/20 Richard.
Right.
But hold on a second, let's double check. And then the other one would be, I think Peter Thiel is another person who's very happy. Maybe Tim Ferriss too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems pretty like self-worthy.
Yeah.
Great. So you can work with their energy. You can pull that energy into you. You can invite them onto your spiritual advisory board. And you're doing that. You don't have to send them an email to invite them onto your spiritual advisory board. You're just asking that aspect of their energy that you like, right? That is self-worthy. So, if you like the self-worthiness of Tim Ferriss, but maybe you don't like all the experimenting he does on his own body, you don't have to take all of him into your spiritual advisory board. You can just say, look, the self-worthy part of him, I want on the board.
Okay.
I mean, one of the examples I gave in the book is, you might find Genghis Khan is a great role model. I don't know if he's a good role model for self-worth or not. I think he had a pretty good self-worth, but he also had a bit of a habit of massacring people and, doing all kinds of other stuff that you might not want on your spiritual advisory board unless your legal marketing business is going to go into all-out war on Mongolia.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been trying to quit on the genocide. It's been a struggle.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so that gives you some material to work with on raising your self-worth, because it definitely is related to raising the minimum on your thermostat, that you deserve to pay off your debt. You deserve to have an easy way of paying your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So what number is your thermostat minimum at right now?
I feel like it's at 11. I mean,
Wow.
I haven't done the spreadsheet, but that's kind of where I think it should be.
Mm-hmm. Well, going from 5 to 11 in 20 minutes is a pretty big jump. That's really good.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's very specific, that number 11. So I think it's a really good sign. Yeah, no, I feel like it's at 11 right now.
Okay. Well, we can either leave it at 11 and go on to the maximum, or we can bump up the minimum some more. What do you want to do?
I think I want to work on the maximum.
Okay. Sounds good. So, and you can come back yourself and play around. What would it take to get my minimum from 11 to 12 or whatever? And it sounds like clearing the belief systems you have about you're supposed to work hard as an entrepreneur to succeed or something. That would be good to clear out.
Right.
So let's go to the maximum. You said your maximum's 15.
Yeah. So
currently.
It's I've always had a hard time breaking through that. And I think it definitely needs to be more to get into those. I mean, it's a sort of a chicken and egg thing, I guess, but it's like, I feel like to do what I really want to do, to like get up to that 9-10 level of of satisfaction, it needs to be a lot more than 15. I always 20 wasn't really, that wasn't like my, solve every problem that I want to have number. I mean, if I wanted to really do what I wanted to do, I would say ideally probably around 50, but yeah, I mean, that's probably what I need. But it feels I'm flinching internally saying that. Like I think my intuition.
Well, let's play around with some different numbers. If you're okay doing that, some of them may be realistic, some of them may sound unrealistic, but they're only numbers, and you can manifest any amount of money you care to. So, you're an infinite spiritual being with a human body, having this experience on this planet with this business that you decided to create. Not a business person who occasionally has spiritual experiences.
Right.
So, let's just look at some different numbers and see what comes up and then clear what comes up. So if you think about your maximum thermostat level being 20, how does that feel?
It feels like okay, like just okay, but it's like I feel like it's a number that hasn't really inspired me, I guess, which I feel like that might be related to the blockage.
Yeah. So what would it take for a 20K a month to be inspiring?
I guess I would have to have, it's like, I feel like the goals of what I really like that phase shift I was talking about earlier. I mean, it's like, I don't see intermediate steps where like that sort of money would make a difference. But I haven't really explored them too deeply either. I'm sure that, this kind of might be related to the core thing with the expense side, but it's like, I feel like if I really wanted to go through and see, what I could do with, let's say if 11K is my baseline, what I could do with 9K a month, I feel like I could probably see like a lot of avenues to look into that if I really wanted to.
So what I think I heard you say is that if you had 20K a month, you're not clear how that would even make a difference in your life.
At this point, yeah. I mean, that's like how it's represented, but I don't know if that's accurate.
So it's a kind of apathy energy.
I think so.
Yeah. So let's just clear that. Let's just imagine that the apathy energy you see, visualize a copy of yourself in front of you.
Okay.
And then I'm seeing some fog of apathy around that copy of yourself that's to do with this apathy around just making 20K a month.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just pour a whole bunch of light. Let's zoom in into it to make it bigger, like you do on a smartphone. You just zoom in and just TLC the shit out of it.
Yeah.
From every direction, above, below, left, right, front, back, inside, outside, upside down, all the different dimensions. Clear out the apathy and just let it waft away and let it dissolve like mist on a summer morning. And now how do you feel about earning 20K a month in the business?
I definitely feel better, but I feel like this is going to be more work than it was with raising the minimum.
When you say it would be more work, tell me what you mean. More energy work or more actual work for Jan?
More energy work. I don't think it's
clear.
far off,
Everywhere
though.
you think it's going to take more energy work, let's just clear that out. What would it take for it to be done now? Let's just bring it forward in time from the future to now and have it be cleared in this moment. What percentage of that apathy is left out of 100%?
I think it just went down from like 40 to 20.
What would it take to get it to 15?
I feel like the deep breathing is really helping.
Deep breathing, keep connecting to the light. Let's just cut cords between you and this apathy energy where you've stayed attached to it.
Okay.
And heal where the places in your body. How many places in your body do you let this apathy attach to you?
6.
Where's the most prominent one that you notice right now?
I feel like it's like kind of like around my shoulders and chest.
Okay.
Like this one right here. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look inside the copy of you around your shoulders and chest. Let's pull out any psychic objects you've stashed in there. Let's cut any internal cords you have that are holding these beliefs in place. And let's just release that cord to this apathy energy and heal how you let it stay attached. Through all your life and past lives and ancestor lines that have the same pattern there. And what would it take to clear all the 5 remaining cords you have and heal them in one go?
I think those are healed.
Yeah. Good. So now how much of this apathy energy is left around you?
I think it might be gone.
Perfect. How do you feel now about making 20K in your business?
I feel more energized.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's look at 30K.
Yeah.
How do you feel about making 30K a month in the business?
I mean, honestly, it feels pretty similar to 20K. I feel
Mm-hmm.
I just there's like a hint of a flinching when I think about reaching towards it. I don't know what it is, but it's
How
I
does that
guess
feel in your body?
um I guess it feels like a bit of like a weight in my chest.
Okay. Anything else in your body?
Like it almost feels like I guess it's like, it's like I almost feel like it's like too good to be true, like a trap. Like if I were to move forward with it, it wouldn't be good. Like it's but not like it's an obvious trap, like it might be a trap. Yeah, it's not like a piece of cheese under a box with a string. But it's like, yeah, this might be too good to be true. Yeah.
Okay. And what emotions do you notice?
It's like sometimes I felt excitement, but it's like excitement that is the kind that's gotten me burned before.
So I think you know what's coming up. I'm going to ask you to give the first number that comes into your head. That's the intuitive number before your ego comes in. What's the youngest age you felt the same way? Hint of flinching, weight in chest, too good to be true, trap, excitement that's gotten you burnt.
Just 14.
Okay. Who was that with?
I'm thinking about high school. I can't think of like I mean, I'm trying to. I can't. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the situation, but it was just like I'm for some reason I'm really thinking about like my sophomore chemistry class. I think it was like some. I can't think of a specific situation. I'm really thinking about like an older group of guys at my high school, and like I felt like I was they were gonna like let me into their group, but it was like I wasn't. Yeah, I thought I was gonna make a social coup, but it didn't play out. And I thought like I was like, but that's and I was taking people attention for more than once.
So let's make sure you're still connected to the light here and now.
Mm.
Go up, go down, expand out.
Okay.
And let's send a bunch of light to this 14-year-old self.
Okay.
And to any other ages you've repeated the same pattern. And any past lives, ancestor lines, and any other dimensions you've held this pattern. And how much of this pattern is left percent-wise?
I think it's gone.
Great. That was fabulous.
Yeah.
So now, when you think about your business making 30K a month, how do you feel now?
I feel like it's kind of like well, there's a difference. It's like I feel like it's like a gain I can capitalize on. The only thing I can really think about is it's like in the competitive sense, like I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so it's like when when you have like you're about to execute on like a dominant maneuver and it's going to happen. That's how I feel about it. Like a
Wow.
real option, yeah. Because we're like aggressive, like dopamine, testosterone hit.
Cool. So let's go to the 50K. When you think about making, if your business makes 50K every month, that would be 1.2 million a year.
Right. Wait,
How do you notice? What do you feel about that?
um,
Did I get the math right there? I might have screwed
I
the
think it
math
might have
up.
been, that might have been, I think
600K a
yeah,
year.
600. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to the 1 million a year in a moment.
Yeah. Um, I kind of just, yeah, I don't feel like it's, I feel like there's a door shut to that. I don't feel like it's realistic.
Okay. Tell me more. You feel a door shut.
Yeah.
What do you notice in your body?
It's almost as if it's like, it's like disconnected, like in the same, it's like, in the same way that I can feel kind of like the attachment to a path for getting to 30K. Um, it's just like, yeah, I feel like it's like, it's like a screen door. I don't feel like there's a place for me to attach to that being
Mm-hmm.
realistic.
Okay. So I want you to imagine that where you are currently to this potential goal of 50K a month of income, and you draw a line between your current time and money place and this future time and money place. And the line is pretty solid and bright as you pass through 20 and 30K, but somewhere before you get to 50K, there's something happens.
Mm.
And you're not able to manifest to that point at this current juncture. What do you notice on that line?
I guess it's sort of, I mean, if I had to visualize it, it's kind of like, I feel like I have like a bright orange line that's going straight through 40K, and then it kind of trickles down to like a thinner gray line.
Maybe that bright orange line is your passion and joy in your business.
Yeah. So maybe yeah. I guess I might see something just like it becoming too cumbersome or complicated. Maybe I'm fearing the complexity that comes from it.
So you're afraid that the business would get too cumbersome, too complicated?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to rationally say how that would happen, it would probably, I feel it's like, 40K to me feels like the limit for like having like a flat hierarchy like I have now.
Ah. And why do you have to have a flat hierarchy in your business?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I just always kind of was fearing management and stuff. And also, I guess like I don't really trust people to. I mean, at least at the 50K level, like it's like the jump would be tough to get like a professional manager at that point would be almost more than I'd be able to. Well, I guess it's tough because it's like if you're thinking about bringing someone on for 50 or 100K, I don't know if I'd really be able to leverage a person like that. And what would that sign me up for in terms of what would I need to do to justify a person like that?
So you're not comfortable employing an A grade player to help with that manager,
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah.
And you're not comfortable in being able to hire someone like that.
Yeah.
And yet you can tell that other businesses at this level typically have someone like that, or that's a solution to get to that level.
Yeah, no, that definitely seems like the case. I mean, like, I can rationally understand that, like, hiring good people is what takes businesses from 500 to a million plus. But but yeah, it's just like I can, yeah, while knowing that, it's like I just don't feel like I can really pull that off.
So what would it take for your business to pull that off? Let's
I
take
get,
I out of the equation, right?
yeah.
What would it take your business to have an A grade manager type person that would help you grow 50K and beyond?
Well, I mean, there's kind of two parts to it. I feel like sort of the core is I need to get a good sales process that doesn't have me as the limiting factor. Um, and at this point, that's tied to a more scalable marketing process to get the leads in. Because I've kind of seen this, I feel like the path for me, and this is something I've been contemplating for, probably close to a year now. It's like, I need to have enough business so that I can hire somebody to develop leads, and enough leads so that I can develop to hire a salesperson. Once I can get that, I can get myself out of that equation. But basically, to be able to offset that churn, I would need sales hires that would be able to have, offset churn to the point where this person can kind of get in and maximize that stuff.
So you need a sales and marketing system and staff that is way bigger than your churn rate.
Yeah.
And you probably also need something to reduce your churn rate.
Yeah, for sure.
Need a system and people to reduce churn. Maybe you also need to change how you filter the customers in too, so that you only accept customers who will stay a long time.
Right.
Because I'm just going to guess when you're scrambling around for customers, you'll take anyone with a pulse.
Well, I'm a little more selective in terms of the type of customer. Like, I did focus on legal recently. Yeah, no, that's the case. It's like, I've been doing things like waiving setup fees, which is bad. I make my contracts very, well, I don't really do contracts. It's like, that's kind of I kind of position it as a benefit as far as, oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's all month to month, but that, attracts people that are only looking for that sometimes. And it's not,
Right.
most times people don't take advantage of it, but that was one of the stories of the client.
Even shifting from month to month to saying it's month to month, but you have to give 15 days notice to cancel. So if you want to cancel the next month, you've got to tell me by the 15th of the current month. Mm-hmm. Even a change of that sort will make people stay longer.
Right.
And this comes back to the self-worth thing. Do you deserve to have clients who stay with you, that pay setup fees, that will stay a certain, a minimum amount of time?
Well, I would say I feel like I deserve it, but the systems that I've developed, I used to think that, but that's kind of one of the things that's been eroded since. Because it's like at first, and sure enough, where the recent loss of clients have gone is had me, telling my account manager to take a break and me, handling this myself.
Right. So what would it take for your business to have all these systems and stuff in place?
I guess it kind of starts from really locking down delivery for the clients that I have. And then I feel like I have a lot of runway in terms of leads that I can work through right now. I think once I get those, I clearly have to, I'm in this weird chicken and egg position where there's a point at which I can kind of, I can take myself out of it. I have to, but it's a hurdle. So I need to blast through that hurdle by myself. But as soon as I can get the space to do it, I need to really focus on more scalable marketing.
I'm getting it would help for you to identify all these things. You just talked about a whole bunch of systems and people that would help you expand. I think it would help if you identify, if you kind of rank them how much they're going to cost and how much time they're going to take. So if you're using that Taylor Pearson, 90-day planning method where he makes a spreadsheet of all the possible things he could do, right? And then he kind of ranks them by like how much time and money and how much joy they're going to bring and whatever you want to rank them on. And then he picks off the easy ones first.
Right.
Or in his 90-day planning system, he just picks like, what are the top 3 things I want to do this quarter? But in this case, could you like rank all the different things you want to do to grow the business and then pick off the smallest chicken first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also I think it would help you to make like a really good plan and have a vision of this, and whatever tools help you with visioning, a vision board of it, or a letter from your future self, or, that explains how you got to this level of income. And I think that would make it a lot more substantial. And then what would it take for any of them, right? What would it take to have this sales and marketing system? What would it take to have a good member of staff? And you may get inspired. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to create it yourself, right? You may meet someone else in the DC who already has a sales and marketing system that you could just tweak slightly and it would work for you.
Right.
Yeah. Or you might find a business partner who brings all that knowledge in, or, there's many ways it could happen.
And this is kind of interesting. I have been working in a sort of a joint venture with a friend of mine, and it's actually really cool because he's kind of in a better position to have money to invest in this. And this came up over, and funny enough, the same time when I did below my thermostat. But it's kind of a fun sandbox that I've been using to develop this. So I don't feel totally out in the I don't feel like totally dead in the water on this. I have kind of like the next stepping stone looks like it's there for that. But I think definitely getting those sort of those vision and having more of a true north is something, because I mean I've kind of just been going one foot in front of the other for a while. So I think getting that would really help.
Yeah, and asking yourself the why question several times. Why do I want 50K a month? And then whatever answer you come back from that, why do you want that? Right, to get to a deep level of why. So we've got a few minutes left here. Are you ready to clear your path to having more than $1 million a year in income coming in?
Yeah.
So that would be, above 100K a month. I mean, 100K a month would be the 1.2 million a year. So how do you feel about 100K a month?
In some ways, it seems easier than 50K, but the thing
maybe you should just leapfrog to that.
Yeah. Well, here's kind of the thing. I mean, I've always kind of sometimes I have trepidation about the business model that I'm pursuing. Like I've kind of felt like I didn't want to be a legal lead generator when I was a kid. And it's kind of at some levels. I think some of my hesitation stems from perceiving this as a stopgap, and past a certain point, I feel like that could be sort of the diminishing returns. So it's like, you have increasing complexity and maybe decreasing utility of the business, where maybe if I get it to a certain income level, I kind of feel like it might be better to just use that to invest in more convex opportunities. Yeah, I have some.
So you just don't feel that into having 100K a month income business, or not this business.
I think that might be the case.
Yeah. So what would it take for you to feel excited about having 100K a month legal lead generating business?
I mean, the question to me really comes down to bandwidth. There's this strong perception to me that there's if I had 100K a month business in this, it would be my whole life. And it would take away from my ability to diversify. But I guess that's sort of related to my recent experience and having taken a step back. But I mean, I think there are ways that people have run much larger businesses in a hands-off way. So
that Richard 80/20 guy probably manages pretty good in that department.
100%, yeah.
Because don't forget, you've got multiple hats you're wearing, as well as you wearing the salesperson hat and the marketing hat and the CEO hat and probably several other hats. You also have an owner hat. right?
Mhm.
So maybe you just want to own a business that makes 100K a month and let other people wear the hats, all those other hats.
Yeah, no, that would be fabulous.
And earlier you said something about moving beyond a flat hierarchy. I think there's a subtext there that when it's a flat hierarchy, maybe you get to control everything.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I always kind of thought about it as, I don't know, I feel like I've always kind of, bureaucracy is something that I kind of associate with multiple levels of hierarchy, and I do like to avoid that, but it could be that as well. I mean, you
So
could, yeah.
you might want to think of some role models for people who own businesses that make 100K a month.
Mhm.
And I'm sure there are some in the DC that you could contemplate and
Yeah.
pick ones who have a relaxed, location independent, can travel as much as they want lifestyle and are happy with the business, and the business does positive things in the world, has meaning for them.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll have to do some research on that. I can think of it. You know, what actually probably jumps to mind is there's somebody who does similar things to what I did. The name of the agency that's dental marketing, and they did a podcast with the CEO that they hired.
Yeah, he's over 2 million, I believe. I forget what he gave a talk, saying how well they were doing. So, yeah, you can definitely look him up. He's a great guy, and he's given several talks at DCBKK. And one of them had a very pretty picture showing how he broke through different income barrier levels.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So that might be cool. So the other thing I think I just want to check back that line you drew from your current place time to the future place time. Does it
Mhm.
still go kind of from bright orange down to gray, or how does it look now?
I feel like it kind of just changes color, you know?
Okay.
I
Well, the
feel,
other thing I was going to say you can do is you can just throw light into that line. You can TLC the line directly.
okay.
We've been kind of working around it on a more rational basis. But if the goal line has gaps in it or it goes funny colors, you can just put a bunch of light into it where it's got the gap and fill it in.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. So are you okay ending the call at this point? Or?
Yes, I think, well, I don't know what time is it. Oh, geez. Yeah, I think we got it. I take my phone.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
thanks so much, Jan, for doing this. Do give us an update on how things shift in your business.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. I'll be
And
more than happy to.
yeah, great.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.